Salut. I want to talk about wealth. A lot of people are richer than they even think. A lot of people are millionaires and billionaires, and they don't even know it or they haven't acknowledged it yet. This is so because we think that wealth is only when we have money in the bank and assets on ground. We only think, we can measure how wealthy we are by how much cash we are valued at. But let us take a quick look at some of the areas in which we are wealthy and we do not even know. First and foremost, the wealth of health. A lot of us are healthy and we take this oftentimes for granted. As a much younger woman, I watched my father, who sent me to school, lay in my arms, writhing in pain because the doctor was trying to send the catheter through the orifice of his penis. He had a stroke, he had diabetes, and he had gouty arthritis. And my father stayed in my arms in pains for a couple of days until he died. Now, this is the story. The story is that some people have good health and they take this for granted many times. Many times. They are all anticipating for a time when they will have a lot of money, a lot of bags. When you have good health, you are wealthy. There are so many billionaires who are so down in health that would trade your health for what they have in terms of the financial prowess that they have. And do you know that oftentimes, even with all the money, they still cannot get good health? Do not take the wealth of good health for granted. Do not take the wealth of mental stability, mental fortitude, mental wellness for granted. That, my friends, is wealth. Two, I want you to take a look at the fact that you are very wealthy when it comes to your ability to connect with human beings, your social prowess, your sociability, your likability, your personality. Have you realized that certain very strong brands, despite the fact how strong they are, be it brands, human beings or items or luxury goods, always make use of those who are very social, those who are influencers, those who have built their physical presence, who have been able to connect, who have been able to sell their persona to us in many ways than one, use them to sell their products. Sometimes those who have a lot of financial capacity, money in the bank, assets on ground, when they have big parties, they pay those who have personalities. Some of them, we call them celebrities, to attend their parties because they feel like this is the life of the party. So you see, connect with people very meaningfully and with a lot of strength. Build your brand to a level where your social capital can be maximized to your advantage. I'll tell you a little backstory. Last year, during the inter-house sports, my son was almost going berserk because he was accused of being too social. He walks into the class, everybody's calling his name, and they thought it was a problem. He walks down the block, everybody's calling his name, and they thought it was a problem. His father complained bitterly that this will be a distraction, and I had to tell everybody to take it easy on the child, that indeed is a gift. And what we should do as parents at this time is to help the child maximize his social capital, teach him how to manage his personality. Of course, some people um, are like that. Everybody's around them, they're like honey, and they kind of like have some kind of attraction. Now when it is not properly managed, it becomes a problem, but either ways, that is wealth. You can't trade with it. I've given you too many examples, and then let us move on to the wealth of time. A lot of people have time on their hands or in their hands. There's so many things I can't do right now, but if I was much younger, I would have been able to do them. So for the younger people, you're very wealthy because you have the years ahead of you. Just the other day, I was calculating how old I am today and how old I will be in the next couple of years. The years and the time seems to be passing really fast. There are things that you can do as a younger person. If time is more on your side, you have the advantage of time. Do you know that there are certain people who wish that they were a lot younger so that they can unmake or undo some decisions that they made? And there are certain people who think that if I was much younger, I should have done this. You have the luxury of time. Maximize it. Use your time wisely. That, my friends, is wealth. I have told you, financial capacity, money in the bank, assets on ground is wealth. Very valid. Time is wealth. I've said that to you. Sociability, social capital, your personality is wealth. Physical and mental health is wealth. Looking at all of these things, sometimes people with so much money in the bank do not have some of these things, and they truly wish they had all these other things. But the truth is that as human beings, we underplay all the others because we think that money and assets is everything. But all of them are actually very valid forms of wealth. And some of you, again, I say, are richer than you ever know. When you want to think of yourself, think of the man who is very sick, yet has all the money. WHO defined a health as the state of physical, social, and mental well being, not only the absence of disease or infirmity. Do you get that point? So sometimes, um, not just the absence of disease and infirmity is the problem. Sometimes you're not physically okay, sometimes you're not mentally okay, you're not socially, you are sick. There are people who could trade. If they could trade money for some of these things, they would do it. Some people are old and they look back and they wish never made the mistakes they made. So, congratulations, my friends. You see, some of you are wealthier than you think. Do not take your wealth for granted. Be it your health, be it your time, be it your resource, be it your connectivity with the people around you. Build strong connections, and you would see that you are wealthier than you think. Au revoir.